All right, so find yourself in a comfortable seated position on your mat. This morning, we will be practicing a more traditional soul work method class. And I would like to invite you to please honor yourself today. So, whatever is going on within you, within your body, your mind, your heart, all of that is welcome here today. All of that is welcome with me, and I hope with you. And please honor what feels appropriate, what feels safe for your bodies. All right, so find your spines nice and tall. However you're seated, hopefully finding yourself comfortable. And either have your eyes fluttered down to the floor or closed so we can have a little more of an internal focus. And see if you can begin to notice the subtlety of your breath coming into your nose, into your chest, into your belly, and the subtlety of it releasing. See if you can begin to notice the weight of your hips on the ground or the prop you're sitting on. And see if you can really notice this foundation underneath you. What does the mat feel like? What does the heaviness of your hips or your knees on the earth feel like? Notice if you can maybe begin to align your spine a bit more tall, straight up from that foundation. And continuing with your breaths in and out of your nose. And we'll move into what I like to call an awareness scan. So scanning through your body, your mind, your heart, your energy, and just allowing space for those places within you to be heard, to be noticed. Trying to drop expectation or judgments, or trying to fill in the blank, simply seeing if you can listen. And see if you can begin to notice areas of your body, your mind, your heart that are working well, that feel good, that feel in alignment or radiant. And if it feels good to you, maybe taking some deeper breaths into those spaces that feel like those qualities we just mentioned, allowing them to expand, allowing space for them to flow. And maybe with the exhales, we begin to start to bit by bit clear away tensions, resistances, or whatever those other qualities are that keep you from having the space of vibrance or radiance. A couple more breaths here with that in mind. And let's unite our palms in front of our heart. And we'll just begin today with a simple but powerful Om. So please feel free to join me. Let's exhale here together. And inhale for Om. Om. Namaste and welcome. All right, so we'll begin to swoop the hands down towards the floor and then inhaling the palms up towards the sky with intention. Again, uniting the palms overhead and then drawing those two hands down towards your heart. And again, up to you if your eyes want to stay open towards me or fluttered down or closed. We'll continue with this motion for a few breaths. So inhale as we're drawing in the essence of what is vibrant, what is radiant, and then drawing it down towards the heart, down towards the solar plexus, and through the whole chakra system. Moving with intention, see if you can feel or visualize the qualities that you would like to embody that allow you to shine a little more brightly. Let's do two more just like that. Really drawing in radiance, light, vibrance, or whatever feeling, thought, quality you'd like to label it as, and drawing that into your heart. Last one here, we'll meet with hands at the heart. And then we will move into a mudra as we do some Brahmari breath today. So that I'll get a little closer to you for a moment, and then I can see you better too. So the mudra we're doing is called the Surya mudra. So really wanting to embody a bit more of this vibrant, radiant light energy today. I know there's so much going on in the world today. There's so much that our hearts ache for. There's so much that we wish we could give. And the list goes on. And I thought today it would be really beautiful to reconnect and nurture our radiance within, our light within, our vibrancy within. Because when we can refill that and remember that power that's within us already, then we can allow it to radiate out into the world and maybe affect our sphere of influence a little bit, and that will domino or ripple effect into someone else's sphere of influence. So today, the Surya mudra, I don't know if this light's better or worse. It's kind of driving me crazy, to be honest. Okay, so the Surya mudra, it looks like this. You'll have the ring finger down, and the thumb is depressing on the part of the finger between the middle knuckle and the knuckle near the fingernail. And so this finger that is depressed is the finger associated with earth, the element of earth. And so in a way, what I was reading this morning as a reminder to myself is, it's not that we are not wanting earth quality, because of course we do want those, but it's more this earth is bowing to the sun quality. We're bowing to the sun in honor and to invoke those qualities again within us, or remind ourselves of those qualities that are already within us. Okay, so it looks a little alien-esque here, but we'll practice this as we do some Brahmari breaths. And go back to my mat. Okay, so we'll have our Surya mudra and then place the backs of the hands onto the knees or wherever feels comfortable for you. And again, realigning your spine nice and tall. And then either fluttering the eyes closed or down. Reconnect back to your breath in and out of the nose. And again, seeing if we can let go of trying to feel the difference of this mudra, trying to invoke the energy of this mudra. Simply by doing it, it's already there. It's already invoked. And so we simply sit with it. And we'll practice our Brahmari to give our mind something to do as well. So let's inhale here together. And if you don't know Brahmari, it's the honeybee sound, the humming sound as you exhale. Okay, so now let's inhale together. And Brahmari out. Continue at your own pace. And as you continue Brahmari pranayama at your own pace, see if you can really tap into the vibration of this pranayama. So noticing it vibrating the crown of the head, down through the third eye, the Ajna chakra. Notice the vibration maybe into the throat, vibrating through all the areas that include your heart chakra, Anahata chakra. And as you continue, see if you can allow that vibration to flow from the crown, bit by bit, down towards the hips, towards Muladhara chakra. So we're realigning, reinvigorating, re-inspiring, and maybe clearing away stagnant energy with this pranayama and this mudra. We'll do 3 or 4 more here together. So as you finish that last pranayama, that Brahmari there, see if you can come to a bit of quiet. You can release the mudra, maybe wiggle the fingers a bit, and then find stillness again and awareness, listening. Gently beginning to open the eyes towards the screen if they're not. And we'll begin to move a bit more. So let's roll the palms over, hands onto the knees. And if you're not seated in Sukhasana, I would suggest doing that if that feels good for your body for our next postures. Again, having the spine nice and tall so we can allow that energy to flow through our system. And we'll begin to move into Sufi circles. So I will begin to mirror you, rotating towards your right. You'll rotate the spine in a circle. You roll forward as you open the heart, open the chest. And then as you roll to your left, rounding through the back like a cat pose, Marjorie. And taking it very intentional, very slow. And starting to connect your breath. So as you roll back, you exhale. And as you create more space within, we inhale. So now working with our chakra system in the opposite direction, starting with the Muladhara, the root chakra, and beginning to stir up and reconnect with our energies within from the root up towards the crown. When you get to the back, switch directions. And if you want, even switch your leg cross and then go the opposite way. Inhaling forward. Exhale, round. Let's do one more circle here, one more Sufi circle. And we'll stay in a rounded position. So we're concave in the chest, but rounding and opening through the back of a heart. So see if you can even leverage your knees and pull the elbows out to really open and expand through the shoulder girdle, through the rhomboids, through all those muscles surrounding the back of the heart. And then let's take a big deep breath here. If you're noticing any tension, see if we can breathe into that space, nurturing. Now let's roll forward and do the opposite. So leaning forward, pulling the elbows back behind you, engaging through the shoulder blades and expanding through the heart. Big breath. And then let's find our way back up to a neutral spine here. Okay, so moving with intention as usual, we'll inhale the arms, roll up towards the sky. Coming to a lateral bend to your right, so right hand down to the mat, reaching up and over with the left. Soften the shoulders away from the ears, glue the hips to the earth. Big breath. Next, inhale, rise back to center, but pull the arms out towards a T, like you're stretching to touch the wall on either side of you. Another breath here. And as you exhale, melting over towards your left, right arm stretches as you root down with that left hip. I'm sorry, your right hip. Big breath. Excuse me. Now let's begin to move with the breath a little bit. Inhale as we reach towards a T. Exhale towards your right. Inhale to center, stretch. Exhale left. One more time. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhaling center. And left. Inhale, center. And let's bring the thumb in towards the center of the palm and then fold the fingers over and begin to roll the wrists in circles. So if you can soften those shoulders away from the ears and stay connected with a balanced breath. And roll the other direction. Lovely. Let's inhale, the arms rise towards the sky. And moving to an easy seated twist. So the left hand coming down to your right knee, the right hand swooping back behind you, pressing into the earth and supporting a nice long spine as you take long breaths. Bringing the gaze forward and then unwind the body, swoop the arms up on your inhale. And twisting over to your other side. So left hand pressing into the floor behind you to lengthen through the spine and lengthen through the breath. Bring in the gaze forward and then unwind, swoop the arms up one more time. Again, uniting the palms together, drawing that energy down towards the heart. Okay, so we'll move towards the tabletop position. So you can either roll over your shins onto your knees or swoop the knees over to the side and roll up onto your knees to a tabletop. See if you can begin to find a nice alignment here. So the wrists are right under the elbows right under the shoulders, knees right under the hips, about hips distance apart. And beginning to hide those feet behind the thighs. So really aligning those knees as well. And then find the length in the spine. Press into the fingertips, press into the knees, press into the shins. See if you can begin to engage the belly button towards the spine to find length from the crown of the head towards the root. Reconnect with your balanced breath here. And we'll move through cat and cow, Vinyasa. So as you drop the belly, lift the tail, roll the shoulders back, open through the heart, inhale. And then doing the opposite, rounding towards your cat pose. Expanding the back of the heart. And continue with your breath. At any point, if your body is calling for something else, please feel free to add that in. Maybe it's neck or hip circles, or full body circles, or shifting side to side. Let's find one more cow pose where we're opening through the heart. And then find our way back to our neutral spine. So moving towards a gentle, very gentle, since this is still, we're moving slow this morning, puppy pose or heart opening pose. So we'll stay on our knees here and begin to walk the hands out in front of you. Forehead will go down towards the floor. And just expanding through the chest as we press the chest and the nose down towards the floor. Big breaths here as you lengthen through the spine. And allow that breath to nurture the heart. One more full breath here. Engage through the belly button as you roll yourself back up, bringing the hands underneath the shoulders again. And now let's begin to lift the right leg up and back behind us. So see if you can have the belly button still pulling in. Notice how the low belly and the hips like to create an arching position. So we pull the belly in, rotate the toes down towards the floor. Imagine you're lifting your leg with the very top of your hamstring, that part that connects to your booty. I like to call it the underbutt. It's a very technical term. And then flexing the foot and press the heel back behind you. So now we're engaging through the whole leg. If at any point your wrists start to feel discomfort, you can always come up onto your knuckles, onto your fists. Now take a breath here as you lengthen. And then we'll drop those toes down to the floor and press into the heel for that Achilles stretch, finding length through the back body. Okay, so engaging through the belly again, shift yourself forward. Make sure that you have a nice even pressure in your thumb and your pointer finger of your right hand. And you can either stay here or you can begin to lift the left arm out in front of you. You're still engaging through the belly, pressing the shin down of the left leg for balance. And take another inhale here, and then as you exhale, draw with intention the knee and the elbow towards each other. Inhale as you lengthen. Exhale in. One more time, inhale, lengthen. Exhale in. This time as you lengthen, begin to bend the right knee so the toes come towards the sky. Reach the left arm around, and you can either stay here as you expand through the heart, or if you can reach the foot, grab to the foot and then press the foot into the hand to open. Gently release wherever you are. Shake out the hips, and that wrist needs a little bit of a break, doesn't it? You can either roll it around or flip it over so the back of the hand's on the floor. And again, at any point, you can come up onto your fists if you need. So let's do the same thing on the other side. So finding your foundation first, engaging through the belly button. It's amazing how that slow movement starts to build such a heat in the body. I can feel I'm trying to talk and it's starting to ask me to breathe a little bit more. Okay, so beginning to lift the left leg back behind you, straight, strong, and square. Feeling the hips square, the lower abdomen pulling in as we press into the fingertips to lengthen through the whole spine. Find your breath. Dropping toes to the floor, Achilles stretch. Okay, so shifting forward again. Pull the belly button in as you lift that hamstring. And then again, your choice if you want to stay here and only move the leg, or we can lift the opposite arm, the right arm, thumb towards the sky. Finding your breath. And 3 rounds here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, knee and elbow to touch. The last one, exhale as you round into the spine. Inhale, lengthen, expand with the breath. Reaching the right arm around, bend through the left knee, either staying here or reaching for the foot, press the foot into the hand to expand through the heart even more. And we'll release, come back to our tabletop. And feel free to get that left wrist a little bit of love, however it feels good for you. And let's come to a child's pose just for a moment. So knees can be together or apart. Let's extend the arms out in front. Let's find 2 Brahmari breaths here. Begin to roll yourself back up to your tabletop. Let's find our way to Adho Mukha Svanasana or downward facing dog. So begin to lift the hips, maybe feet hips distance apart, especially for this first one. And begin to maybe pedal out the heels or whatever feels good for you to begin to open into this position. Making a bend into the knees as you stretch the ribs back towards the thighs. And let's find our way into stillness in this posture. So see if we can really lengthen through the spine, even if that means a bend into the knees. The goal of this pose is a lengthened spine and then softening the heels towards the floor. Come back to your full balanced breath. Let's begin to lift the right leg up and back behind, just like we did on the floor. Straight, strong, square, engaged. The heel pressing up towards the ceiling or maybe where the wall and the ceiling meet. Now we'll do the opposite. Bend the knee, open that right knee towards the sky as you open through the hips. Maybe roll out the ankle. And then bring that foot back down towards the floor. And other side. Straight and strong to begin, square. Pressing, engaging through the thigh as we press the heel behind. Bend through the knee, lift the left knee towards the sky as you open to the left side. And begin to press that foot down towards the floor. Okay, let's bring our feet and our hands towards each other and come towards a flat back or Ardha Uttanasana. So I like to start my first flat back on my shins, even though I can touch the floor, because I feel we get a little more of an extension through the spine, especially at the beginning. So maybe even bringing the palms to the outsides of your shins. So we're opening through the chest, really press into the shins with the thumbs, the fingers, and lengthen. And now feet hips distance apart or wider. We'll bend into the knees, ragdoll fold. You can either grab onto either elbow or let the arms dangle down. Again, Ardha Uttanasana, flat back, however you wish, either hands on shins, hands on thighs, fingers to the floor. Exhale, forward fold. And slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, rolling ourselves to standing. Let's find our way into mountain pose or Tadasana here. So rolling the palms forward, finding even weight distribution between your heels and the balls of your feet. Roll the shoulders back. See if the chin can be about parallel to the floor. And come back to your breath. Come back to our own foundation, our own inner strength. So from here, we'll move into a couple of rounds of Surya Namaskar. And then we'll move into some Samaskar or some Surya Samaskar variations. But first, let's bring our hands together in front of our heart. And since we're invoking this energy of Surya, or energy of the sun, radiance of the sun, we'll do 3 rounds of the Surya mantra. So if you wish, you can follow along, use your voice if you'd like to practice opening through the throat chakra. And I suggest to try to say the mantra yourself as well, so you can feel the vibrations opening, clearing away stagnation, re-inspiring our own inner radiance. So exhale here, 3 rounds. Inhale. Om Suryaye Namaha. Inhale. Om Suryaye Namaha. One more, inhale. Om Suryaye Namaha. If you'd like to practice Ujjayi Pranayama today, this would be a good time to begin to integrate it into your practice. Okay, so hands at the heart, and let's begin to flow with the breath. Inhale as the arms swoop down and then up towards the sky, drawing in the radiance of the sun. Unite the palms together as you fold down. Exhale, Uttanasana. Step the right foot back towards Anjalayasana. Maybe come to the fingertips as you lift the heart. Inhale. Plant the hands, step back to your plank. Knees, chest, chin down towards the floor. Pranam. Inhale, Bhujangasana, Cobra. Press the tops of the feet into the floor. Squeeze the elbows behind. Exhale, as you roll from tabletop to Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Looking up between the hands, step the right foot between the hands, tap the knee, shine the heart. Inhale. Uttanasana. Exhale, as you step the feet together, forward fold. Ground through the feet as you rise, scooping up that energy. Unite the palms, drawing it down towards the heart. Inhale as the arms swoop down and up once again. Unite the palms as you bow down in honor. Exhale. Step the left foot back as you tap the knee. Inhale as the heart expands forward. Plant the hands, step to your plank. Pranayama, knees, chest, chin as you exhale. Inhale, Bhujangasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Step the left foot between the hands. Tap that right knee. Inhale into the heart. Step together, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands to heart. Let's take a breath here. And let's do that once again. I think most of you are pretty familiar with Surya Namaskar. If this is new to you, then try to really connect the breath and the movements together. And if you get lost, just stop where you are and pick up where we are. I feel, or see if you can feel, really the breath moving through the body through these postures. So instead of worrying so much about doing them perfectly or doing them in the right order, see if we can drop all that in this moment. I really just feel the breath move with the movement. How does it feel to invigorate the heart with the inhale? How does it feel to let go of the heaviness as you exhale? Or whatever else comes to mind, whatever qualities you're invoking in and letting go of. So again, we'll start in Tadasana, hands at the heart. And on your inhale, swoop the arms towards the sky. What does it feel like? Unite the palms as you exhale, bow down. Uttanasana. Right foot steps back as you tap the knee, inhale. Plant the hands as you step to plank, retain your breath. Exhale, pranayama. Inhale, Bhujangasana. Rolling through tabletop. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Step the right foot between the hands, tap the knee, Anjalayasana. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold, let go. Inhale, and we begin again. Rise towards the top. Exhale, hands to heart. And again, seeing if even in this round, you can dive into the feeling even more. Maybe if this resonates with you, allowing this movement, this breath, this reinvigoration of our energy to be a practice of prayer. Inhale as the arms swoop up. Exhale as we bow down, Uttanasana. Left foot steps back. Tap the knee, Anjalayasana, inhale. Plant the hands, step to plank, retain the breath. Exhale, pranayama, as again we bow down in honor. Inhale, Bhujangasana as you lift the heart. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Step between the hands with the left foot, tap the knee, inhale. Exhale, release, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise, swoop it all back up. Unite the palms and down into the heart. And find your breath. We'll begin to add on some variations as we move towards opening for our peak posture. So rooting down through the feet, maybe picking up the toes again, spreading the toes wide, and then allowing them to relax back down onto the floor. Seeing if the heart can lift even taller towards the sun. Notice if it feels authentic to you as you inhale to imagine the radiance of the sun. Imagine the warmth on your skin, on your face, the warmth nurturing your heart. And either stay here if you'd like to stay in this place of absorbing the radiance and a more grounded place in our Tadasana. And join us when you wish, or you can move on with us into some more Surya Namaskars. So inhale as the arms rise towards the sky. Moving with intention, exhale, Uttanasana. Let's step the right foot back again. Tap that right knee down. Begin to lift the heart. So let's even begin to wiggle the left toes a little bit more forward. So we're getting a nice deep lunge here without having our knee coming over our ankle. And notice if you can square up the hips here. This could be a good place to grab your blocks. It might have been better to have them up towards the mat, but let's grab them anyway. And with the blocks, if you are using them, we can really begin to extend through the spine, open through the heart. Roll the shoulder blades back behind you, maybe engaging through the rhomboids, through those muscles between the shoulder blades. See if you can notice the inner thighs and see if you can begin to squeeze them together, even though you're deepening into this lunge. So this helps create this foundation within, as well as engage through Mula Bandha, the bandha within the root chakra, and helps keep this hip square. Soften the shoulders, balanced breath. So here we'll begin to move into Ardha Hanumanasana, so half split. So begin to shift the hips back as you wiggle that heel forward, lifting the toes, so flexing the toes. Maybe walk the hands or the blocks back under the shoulders. And again, first, square up the hips, lengthen through the spine. Maybe this is where you stay today. Allowing the breath to soften the muscles in the back of the body, the back of the leg. If you'd like to go into a deeper stretch for your body, keep the heart lifted, lengthen through the spine, and allow, it's almost like the light of the heart's trying to beam over the toes rather than melt and bring the forehead to the knee. So keep that light of the heart beaming forward as we don't force, but we soften into this. One more full body breath here. And release. Begin to bring that left foot back to the mat. You can remove your blocks if you have them. Place the hands onto the mat, step back to your plank. So from here, it's up to you. You can go straight to the down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. You can move through a full chaturanga, or we can move through a partial chaturanga or a modified chaturanga. So we can drop the knees. Instead of knees, chest, chin, this time we'll keep the length in the spine, a nice straight spine as we lower halfway down and then all the way down to the mat. Engage the elbows behind you again as you lift into either baby cobra, I like to call this teenage cobra, or full cobra. And then roll back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. And I know we're moving slow today, and know that I'm doing it on purpose. So we can have the space, the time to breathe, the space and the time to allow the energy to move and shift. the space and the time to be able to cultivate awareness around these shifts, around our body, around our heart. And I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm working hard even though I'm going slow. Let's begin to bring that right foot up between the hands now. So if it doesn't get all the way up there, remember you can wiggle it up. Square up those hips and then drop the left knee down to the mat. We'll flip the toes, press into the shin of that left knee. A nice little check-in is to be able to press into the top of the foot and the shin so you can lift your knees. So we're practicing having less weight on the knee. Again, if you'd like to use your blocks, I like to put them on the high setting so that I can really find the length in the spine. Open through the collarbones. Open through the heart. So then we'll take that right hip, keep squeezing or rotating it back behind you, engaging the inner thighs together, almost like this scissor. So they're squeezing together, but then they're opening into this lunge position. Deep breaths. See if you can soften the shoulders, let that weight melt away. Beautiful. Moving into Ardha Hanumanasana, half split. We'll rotate onto the heel, flexing through the toes, walk the hands back. And again, rotating that right hip back to square up the hips, elevating the heart or lengthening the heart. Breathe into the heart, allowing it to shine. And then maybe softening deeper into the posture. Can you allow that breath to flow from the nose, through the heart, through the Manipur, through the solar plexus, through the sacral chakra, through the Muladhara root chakra? We'll begin to roll ourselves back into Anjalayasana. Remove your blocks. Plant the hands and take the chaturanga you wish, or skip it and go straight to downward facing dog. So we can lower all the way to the floor like the last time, or on your exhale, lowering halfway to chaturanga. Flip the feet, urdhva, up dog, and then rolling to down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And find your breath. See if we can bring in a bit of awareness again. What does it feel like in this body now? In my body, I feel my heels touching the floor now, where before they weren't. I feel heat moving through my body. I feel the need to take deeper breaths. What do you feel? Begin to come up onto the tippy toes, look between the hands as you bend into the knees. You can step or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, let's come to a flat back. Exhale, Uttanasana. Ground through the feet as you rise, swooping up with intention. And exhaling, hands to heart. Anjali. Okay, let's continue. Inhale, the arms rise towards the sky. Let's open the palms this time as we swoop down, dive down towards the floor. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, flat back. Okay, let's plant the hands, step to a plank or tabletop if plank is not feeling good in your body today. Move through chaturanga if you wish, or straight into downward facing dog. Inhale to your up dog. Exhale, down dog. Okay, begin to lift the right heel up and back behind you. Let's come to Virabhadrasana 2. So bringing the foot between the hands. I'm going to rotate so I can see you. Spinning the left foot down towards the floor, and then rotating up to your warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. And let's do a little check-in here. So we're grounding through the feet, having even weight between the heel and the ball of the feet. And then the back foot between the pinky toe and the big toe. Let's check in on this lower body, lower torso. It often likes to relax and kind of hang forward, which makes our booty pop out behind us. So see if you can even bring your hands to your low belly and guide the hips to lengthen. So we're guiding the tailbone down as we engage through the low belly. And then deepening into your lunge, see if that knee can track right over the ankle, engaging through the back thigh. And now imagine that you're pulling your right heel and your left arch towards each other, this isometric movement, and allowing that strength and energy to rise up within. And then we allow the arms into our warrior T here, gazes forward. Reconnect with your breath. So on your inhale, begin to straighten through the front leg. Really pulling that right hip back as much as you can and begin to tilt into the hips, lengthen through the spine. We'll stretch forward as we hold it here for a moment. You may begin to feel that stretching and strengthening at the same time in the right hamstring. And then coming into Trikonasana, whichever version works for you. It can be hand on the thigh as the left hand reaches, hand on the shin, or you can use a block. What's important here is we're finding length in the legs, lengthen the spine, lengthen the neck, lengthen the breath. And soften with the exhale. On your inhale, rise, reverse triangle. So back hand to the back thigh as you point the right fingers towards the sky. Big breath. We'll windmill the hands down. Remove your block if it's in the way. Step to your plank. You can choose chaturanga or straight into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Left leg lifts up and back behind. We'll bring that foot between the hands, wiggle it all the way up there as needed. Rotate the back heel down to the floor. Windmill the hands back up. Soften through the shoulders. Let's try this on this side just for good reminder, bringing hands to the low belly and actually allow yourself to relax and kind of dump forward. Allow the tailbone to flare up in the back and then feel the difference, pulling it in, lengthening that tailbone down as we deepen into the lunge. Knee in alignment right over the ankle. And warrior arms into our T. Soften through the shoulders. One more breath. Begin to straighten through that left leg. Again, we tilt forward, leaning forward, finding the length and the strength at the same time. And then find your version of Trikonasana on this side. Inhale, rise with that front leg staying straight. Reverse your triangle. Lengthen with the breath through that whole front line of the body. Inhale back to warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. And windmill the hands back to your plank. Choose chaturanga, child's pose, tabletop, whatever feels best for you, and then back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Anytime that you'd like to pause, please do. Okay, so right leg lifts up towards the sky again. Let's bring that foot right between the hands and towards a runner's lunge again. We'll keep the back leg lifted, squeeze through those inner thighs as we talked about to find that engagement and foundation. Left hip pulls back a bit as we begin to rise into crescent lunge. So easy, as we talked about, to really dip into the low belly and the low back here. So again, we're pulling that pelvis area up off the front thigh, rotating the hips to square. Maybe a little bend into the back leg helps take the pressure out of the low back. And can you soften through the shoulders, through the trapezius? I'm going to take the back leg, hop it in a little bit, and come towards Virabhadrasana 1. So we lower the back heel, the back foot flat towards the floor. Let's bring hands to hips. So really squaring through the hips again, engaging through the low belly. Begin to lengthen through your front leg. This is a really great place for blocks if you'd like to use them. We'll keep our spine nice and long, lifted, flat spine as you begin to fold. Hands can come to thigh, hands can come to blocks, hands can come to shin. Fingers to the floor. As we continue to open through the hamstring. Once you find your stopping point in this posture, see if you can reconnect to your breath here, allowing the radiance of that breath to flow in from the nose all the way through the chakra system into the hamstring. And then that exhale just melts away back into the earth. If you notice any quivering or shaking, that's totally normal and okay. Just our body releasing energy, releasing tension. One more full breath here. One more release. Maybe a slight bend into the knee as you bring your hands back to your hips and rise back up to standing. Let's lift the arms, inhale. And then flow the hands down towards the floor, towards your plank. Step into your plank. I'm going to step to the screen. And your choice, chaturanga, child's pose, down dog. We'll meet in Adho Mukha Svanasana. Lovely breath to movement, everyone. Okay, so onto the other side. Left leg lifts, straight, strong, square behind you. And then pulling that foot between the hands, wiggling it all the way up there as needed into runner's lunge. All right, so maybe grabbing onto your blocks here if you're going to use them. Left hip rotates back as we squeeze the inner thighs towards each other, engage through Mula Bandh, and rise with the breath. Crescent lunge. See if you can find a little more length in the sacral area. So tailbone pointing towards the floor, heart expanding. And again, maybe that slight bend into the back knee allows the pelvis to shift in the direction that creates more space. Another couple breaths here. Okay, so move towards Virabhadrasana 1. So stepping the right foot in a bit, maybe hips distance apart. And we'll bring the hands towards the hips. Squaring through the hips, engaging through the low belly, straighten through the front leg. So you can find even more length through the spine here. See if you can feel or imagine that light shining, beaming from the heart forward. And then we just allow that light to stay shining forward as we fold and melt into the posture. Maybe using your blocks, maybe hand on the thigh. But let's try to avoid the rounding in the spine. Keeping the spine lengthened actually allows for the posture to move into the hamstring more. Couple more full breaths here. Maybe that slight bend into the knee if it's needed in your body, hands to the hips, rise with the long spine, back to standing. Inhale, arms rise. And exhale, flow through your chaturanga. So hands plant to the floor. If you need another breath in plank, that's okay. Move through your chaturanga with intention. Of course, you can skip it and straight into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Beautiful. Find your balanced breath here. Maybe imagining the breath flowing in from the earth up through the legs into the hips. Exhale as the breath flows down the body and into the hands back to the earth. And let's close up this sun salutation, Surya Namaskar. So looking up between your hands, step or hop to the top of your mat. Let's inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise with intention. Exhale, palms to heart. Beautiful. Okay, last Surya Namaskar here. Inhale, the arms rise towards the sky. Either bow down or open that heart wide and flow down to the floor, your choice. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step to your plank. If you'd like your chaturanga, once again, you can add it in here or straight to Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. We'll all meet here in down dog. Let's lift the right leg up and back behind. And again, back to runner's lunge here. Hands or foot between the hands. Okay, so this time planting the feet like Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. So again, stepping that left foot forward a bit. And then let's rise, Virabhadrasana 1. And I'll face towards you. So here we're working towards a revolved twist in the posture we were just in. So know that this is a deep version of this posture. I really suggest using props and listen to your body. And we're gonna go slow so we align and set up the foundation well. So begin to straighten through the front leg. We'll square up those hips again. We can bring hands to hips. Give our arms a break. I think I want my feet a little farther apart and hips distant. It feels better in my body. So again, lengthen through the low body, lengthen through the heart. Okay, so then let's lift the arms one more time. And let's twist towards your right. So the right hand will come back behind you as the left hand comes forward. See if you can keep the hips nice and square and only twist in the upper body as much as your body wishes. Inhale, rotating back to center as the arms come back up. Exhale, twist again, opening towards your right. One more time, we feel those obliques starting to work. Inhale. Lengthen, lengthen as you twist through the upper body one more time. And then here, we'll start to move into our twist or into our fold. So begin to lengthen forward. You already begin to feel that IT band turn on. Maybe the hand just comes to the thigh as the right hand comes up towards the sky. That's completely okay. You can have hand to shin, hand to block. Maybe hand to floor if your body is that open. So if you wish, you can also bring that right hand towards the right hip crease to begin to really help support square hips. So we're pulling that right hip back. Wherever you are with the left hand, see if you can lengthen through the heart. So we're not dumping into that left shoulder wherever we're resting, but we're pressing away. Maybe come back to that right hand lifted towards the sky. Pavarita, twisted. One more breath here. Are you breathing? A little bend into the knee as we rise in our twisted shape again. And then unwind, arms come forward towards the sky. Inhale. Let's goalpost the arms as we exhale. Maybe open the jaw. One more time. Inhale, arms lift. Open the elbows, jaws, release. Beautiful. Bring the hands to the mat, step to your plank, and let's all just go straight to downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Okay, so let's try that on the other side. Left leg lifts up and back behind. Bring that foot between the hands, wiggle it all the way up there. Plant that right foot down into Virabhadrasana 1. And we rise. Beautiful. All right, so squaring up the hips, engaging through the low belly, tailbone extending towards the floor. But yeah, we soften through the shoulders. Full breath. Okay, let's bring hands to hips. Begin to extend through that front leg. Extend through the spine. Squaring it up here, seeing if we can keep this squareness as we begin to twist. So the arms rise as you inhale back towards the sky. Exhale, left hand back behind you as you twist towards your left. Inhale, rise to center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Okay, so this time we exhale, twist. Keep finding your length. Left hips pulling back as you reach forward. And then find the version that works on this side, not expecting this side to be the same as the other. Maybe hand to thigh, maybe hand to shin, maybe hand to block. Maybe a bend into the front knee is what's needed. Pavarita Trikonasana. See if you can ground down through the feet. So heel, big toe are pressing into the floor. Lengthen through the chest. So we're not dumping into that right shoulder. One more breath, lengthen through the spine as if you're pulling your hips and your crown of your head away from each other. A slight bend into the knee if you need it to rise, and rise into your twisted shape. Unwind as the arms come forward and up. Inhale. Whew. Lovely job, everyone. Bring your hands to the mat, step to plank. Take one breath in plank, and then let's drop to our knees. Child's pose, Balasana. Let your awareness be on your breath, on the beating of your heart, on the support of the floor underneath you. And take another awareness scan here, scanning through the body, the heart, the mind, the energy. And notice maybe the space you've created by moving, by breathing, by being intentional. And notice if you're finding anything else now that you've burned away some of the stagnation in these places, if there's a deeper layer of something that's ready to be released, ready to let go. It's okay if you don't know. It's okay if you're not ready. It's just a question. Whatever you're feeling, whatever you're sensing, take some breaths into that space. Even if you feel like you're sensing nothing, breathe into the nothingness. Maybe open mouth, sigh it out, let it go. Let's do 3 more breaths like that. Full breath, breathing into that sensation. Exhale, letting go maybe of what's heavy. And see if you can find your way into a quieter space. Just soft breath, no control of the breath here. And gently begin to pray. I can't talk. Press your palms into the floor and shift your hips back into down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So we have options here. Moving towards Kapotasana, we can do the full Kapotasana where we'll start in this position and bring the shins toward, or the shin towards the wrist. Or you can always move into reclined Kapotasana or reclined pigeon pose on your back. If you'd like to come to your back, you lay on your back, you'd cross your right leg, your right ankle over your left knee, and then bring that structure towards the chest. If you'd like to move towards this full version of Kapotasana, then we can follow along here. Lift the right leg up and back behind you, and then bring the knee towards the chest, and then the knee towards the right wrist, ankle towards the left wrist. And now here we want to shift that left knee back so we can open towards like a split position. Walk the hands back first. I like to come up onto the fingertips, so I'm getting a lot of length here. See if you can rotate that right hip back even more. So we're allowing this posture to work into that left psoas even more. There's so many options in this posture. Maybe you've heard of them by now, but just in case, you can place a blanket under this right thigh, a block under the thigh, block under the forearms, a bolster under any of those spaces. Or again, you can come onto your back, which I will demonstrate in a moment in case you don't know what that is. So wherever you are, see if you can find length in the spine, whether you're lying on your back or you're lifting the heart towards the sky. And see if you can soften into the hips. You can stay here, or you can begin to fold into this posture. Maybe down onto the forearms, maybe forearms to a block, maybe forehead all the way to the floor. But see if we can keep our body, our torso right in the center. So we're not leaning too heavy on the right side or on the left hip, but right in the center. And now let's try to let go of all effort and fall into a place of ease. The only thing we're focusing on is our breath. I'll be moving towards reclined Kapotasana, just in case you need a visual. I'm crossing my right leg over and bringing those legs towards my chest. So wherever you are, whichever version you're in, let's take 3 Brahmari here, allowing the vibration of radiance to flow from the origin of the Brahmari down through the body into the hips. So if you're in reclined pigeon on your back, just stay on your back and unwind the legs. If you're in the full Kapotasana, begin to lift the chest and find your way back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. And adding in any movements that feel good. Maybe it's pedaling, maybe it's lifting that right knee or right leg up and then bending into the knee, opening through the hip, maybe hip circles, maybe neck rolls. What feels good for you? Okay, so if you're on your spine, stay on your spine, cross your left ankle over the right knee and find your version of Kapotasana. If we're moving into the other version, lift the left leg up and back behind you. Bring that left shin towards the wrist. And scooching that right knee back. Squaring up the hips by pulling that right hip forward, left hip back. Maybe come up onto the fingertips, soften through the shoulders. See if you can notice the hip flexor on the right side and see if that place can be your intention. See if we can soften through the psoas. And again, you can stay here or you can move into a different version. You can use props underneath the hip as needed. And see if we can practice a place of ease. The only effort is on the breath. Let it go. See if we can soften through the jaw, the shoulders, the hips. And I almost forgot, let's do 3 Brahmari breaths here. So again, if you're on your spine in reclined pigeon, go ahead and stay on your spine, just unwind the legs. If you're in the full version of pigeon Kapotasana, you can begin to find your way out of it. Scooching back towards Adho Mukha Svanasana and any movements that feel good to you. Let's come down to our knees into child's pose, or if you're on your spine, just bring your knees into your chest. Just a couple more breaths here. Maybe this time, imagining the warmth and the light of the sun, warming, energizing, nourishing the back of the heart here. So into the shoulder blades. So wherever you are, we'll make ourselves down onto our spine. You can walk your hands up, rotate your hips off to one side, and come onto your backs. We'll have our feet on the mat and our knees pointed towards the sky. See if you can just lift your hips up off the floor for a moment, tuck the tail a bit, and then roll the spine down. So we're finding a lot of length in the low back, a lot of support in the low back. We'll move through shoulder stand, Halasana plow, and Matsyendrasana fish pose. And know that there's many versions of this, or you don't have to do any of it. One option, if you do not want to do shoulder stand, is to do what many people call waterfall, where we just lift the legs, flex the feet, and hold them here. You can even hold on to the back of the thighs if you wish. If you would like to move into full shoulder stand, let's begin to press the palms into the floor, lift the feet towards the sky, and with a little momentum, pressing your toes up towards the sky and placing your hands onto your low back. I like to kind of wiggle my elbows underneath and then see if we can really point the legs, the toes up towards the sky. Remember, in these postures where we have a lot of weight on the cervical spine, on the neck, we don't want to look from side to side. So keep your gaze up towards your toes. And now press into the elbows. See if you can take some of the weight off of the neck. Lengthen through the neck. Lengthen through the breath. From here, nice and slowly, if you wish, we'll move to Halasana plow pose. We'll take the toes over the head. If you feel like your toes aren't going to be able to touch the floor over your head today, you can roll down and place your block in a place over your head so your toes have something to rest on, and then roll yourself back into Halasana. I am demonstrating that on the screen, so if you'd like to come down and look, you can. And again, in this posture, we press into the elbows to relieve some of the pressure off the neck. Lengthen through the breath in the neck. You can stay here. You can place the palms into the floor. You can clasp your hands behind you and lengthen the arms as well. Okay, when you're ready, slowly roll your spine down one vertebra at a time, using your hands to hold your hips. Roll down, down, down. Place the palms into the floor underneath your glutes. And then begin to slide those legs down onto the floor, down onto the mat, lengthen down onto the mat, and press into the elbows to lift the heart. Maybe wiggle the elbows underneath you a bit as you let the head drop back towards the floor into Matsyendrasana fish pose. So again, the weight is in the elbows here to lift the heart. If you're feeling a lot of pressure in your neck, you can place a blanket under your head. See if you can engage through the thighs here, press into the floor. One more full breath. And ever so slowly tuck the chin, allow the heart to melt down towards the floor, and remove your hands from underneath you. See if you can lie in Shavasana just for a moment, so the palms up to the sky, allowing neutrality in the spine. We'll bring the knees up towards the chest. Maybe grab onto your shins. Give yourself a good hug here. It's up to you. You can either stay lengthening the spine by pressing into the shins or curling up into a ball as you exhale, bringing the knees and the forehead together. Appanasana. We'll lay the head back down onto the floor. Maybe rock side to side or make circles here, whatever feels best in your body. We'll stop in the center, bring one hand to each kneecap, and then circle the knees apart and back together. So we're making circles with each knee in separate directions. Nice and slow, finding all the edges of the hip socket, getting the synovial fluid moving, nourishing the hip joints. I feel like lately I've been seeing so many people in their 70s, 60s, 70s going in for hip replacements. Go ahead and switch directions. And so it's so important in all of our years, no matter which age you are, to be nourishing the joints, releasing tension, releasing that stagnant energy that needs to go. If you wish, we'll move into happy baby. And grab onto the shins, thighs, or big toes. Let the tailbone lengthen to the floor. The neck is on the floor. You either stay still, you can rock, you can stretch the legs, you can be playful here. We'll bring the knees into the chest. Now let's come into our final twist. So keeping the right knee into the chest, lengthen the left leg down onto the floor. If you know you have low back issues, sciatic issues, or sacral area issues, maybe keep the knees together and twist both knees down towards the mat instead of deepening into this twist with one knee. So keep the knee into the chest, bring the right arm out towards your side to T position, and begin to shift onto your left hip as you rotate that right knee over towards the left. My foot found a block, which is actually a really great prop option. You can have a block under your foot, your knee. Bolster is lovely here under the thigh or knee. We want to keep the shoulders rooted on the ground here. So they're glued to the ground as a lower body twist just to where it will go. No force, just softening. See if you can let go of working the effort in the glutes, the thigh, the pelvis, the neck, the jaw. Slowly come back to center. Hug that right knee into the chest again. Give a good little squeeze into the colon. Bring both knees into the chest, squeezing both knees again. And let's do that on the other side, or again, if you're moving with both knees together, that's perfectly fine. So lengthen the right leg down onto the mat. Give the left leg a good little squeeze. Left arm out towards your side, T position. Shifting onto the right hip as you find your way into your twist. And again, props are so lovely here. I didn't mention this last time, but your gaze can either be up towards the sky or over that left shoulder. With each breath, see if you can let go of effort and soften into the support of the earth. Begin to find your way back onto your spine. Left knee squeezing into the chest. And again, both knees into the chest. Lengthen through the spine as you inhale, as you exhale, Vinyasa, bringing the forehead and knees together. And inhale, release, and let's find our way into Shavasana. Please feel free to use any props. Sometimes a rolled up blanket under the knees is so nice. Or a bolster under the heart, blanket to cover. I'm going to come to seated so I can hold the space better. When you find yourself in a Shavasana that you can stay in and rest, let's take a really big breath in. Hold it at the top, sip in a little bit more air. Exhale, sigh it out. And see if everything can melt. See if you can feel the softness of the breath flowing into the nose. Imagine that breath is a soothing, nourishing, radiant light. It's moving from the nose into the jaw, into the throat. And this radiant, soothing light, it cleans anything that's stuck, sticky, stagnant. And as it cleans, it nourishes and replenishes the tissues, the energy, the vibrance. See if you can imagine that soft breath and radiance just continuing to flow and work your way all the way to your toes at your own pace. Cleaning, nourishing, melting. Before you move, see if you can bring yourself back to this awareness scan. Just softly listening within. See if you can begin to imagine the sun shining warmly, but not burning, above you. See if you can even, with closed eyes, notice the light of the sun behind your eyelids. See if you can notice the warmth on your skin, scanning from your crown to your toes. And see if you can notice if there's any area that could use a little extra nourishment of this radiant light, this vibrant energy. And allow yourself to receive. Soak in the sun. Just as vibrant as the sun is, so are you. When we can clear away the stickiness, stagnation, frustrations, whatever other quality that keeps us from feeling our most radiant self, we can tap back into that innate, vibrant, powerful light within. And from this place, if we can come from this place into the world, this is when our practice comes off our mat. And when it starts to feel heavy again, sticky, stagnant again, we come back to our practice. We clear away, we reconnect with our light, and then we step back into the world. I'd like to offer a affirmation. I'll say it and then maybe allow some space for you to repeat it to yourself if it resonates with you. I rise up from the center of my being to meet life with an open heart. I rise up from the center of my being to meet life with an open heart. And ever so nourishingly, see if you can begin to wiggle your fingers. Maybe taking your thumb pad, swipe it against the other fingers. Maybe roll the wrists. Maybe wiggle the head from side to side. If it feels good to you, maybe sweeping the arms up overhead as you take a huge, vibrant breath. From fingers to toes. And at your own time, rolling over to your right side into our fetal position. And if it feels right to you, maybe taking that left hand, placing it on the heart. I rise up from the center of my being to meet life with an open heart. And lovingly place your hands into the floor to lift your heart up to seated. Whatever position is most comfortable for you. We'll come back to our Surya Mudra, so the ring finger depressed by the thumb and the backs of the hands on the knees. Maybe take an inhale, shoulders to the ears, exhale, soften them down. So we'll do let's do 5 Brahmari breaths together with the Surya Mudra, and then we'll sit in quiet meditation for a moment. So inhaling here and then go at your own pace. Mm. 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 And if it feels comfortable for you to keep the Surya Mudra, we'll do 3 rounds of the Surya mantra. Again, to invoke this essence of radiance, this essence of inspiration for life. So we may rise up from the center of our being and meet life with an open heart. Om Suryaye Namaha. Om Suryaye Namaha. Say this one with all of your intention. Om Suryaye Namaha. Unite the palms in front of our heart as a symbol of uniting the energy within and without. Take a deep breath here into your own heart. And then see if we can imagine our light radiating to everyone else in this group that we are sharing this experience with, sharing this morning with. What a day to be alive. Deep breath here. Namaste. It's always such an honor to join you in practice, to show up in my own practice. And thank you, thank you, thank you.